Hi everybody. Today I've got a very special guest on Transform and Thrive podcast. Here is my daughter on the right side of the screen today, and she is my why behind my work. If you've not been in my world long, you probably don't know. So I'm Rachel Claire Farnsworth, Wellness with Rachel, and my daughter was my first client back in 2018, and she had an autoimmune disease, and we decided to work together more or less straight after I qualified in hypnotherapy. Both of us not really expecting any major outcome at all, just hoping that maybe we'd be able to reduce her pain over a period of time, maybe a year. But that isn't what happened, is it? So today is my wonderful daughter, Emily, and I'm really thrilled, beyond ecstatic, to introduce you to her, because she is, I often say, she's my why behind my work, and she is. So if my voice cracks, that's why, because it matters. So thank you for joining. I've been trying to coax you into doing this for so long, and I'm so grateful that you're here right now. And we're recording this in March, which is actually Autoimmune Awareness Week, or month rather. So this is really a powerful thing, and that's the little carrot that made you do this, isn't it? Because it's the Autoimmune Awareness Month. So thank you for joining me, and just let's talk a little bit, would you, about what life was like before we had a session together. You had that autoimmune disease. It was juvenile idiopathic arthritis, which is arthritis in children with no known cause. So what was life like, sweetheart?
It's quite hard to remember. I just remember not being able to remember anything. I didn't really realise I was in pain, because that wasn't really...
How old were you when you got diagnosed?
Like 1.
So you're just a year old, and I remember, I don't know whether you remember what your first sentence was when you were little.
I couldn't walk.
Yeah, and Mummy no walk this morning, because you couldn't get out of bed. That used to break my heart. And so that shouldn't be anybody's first sentence, should it? So what was life like struggling? Because that was your normal, because you hadn't had any sort of understanding of what pain-free was like.
Yeah, so I wouldn't really say I was in pain, so I didn't really know, obviously, what that was like. But everything was hard work, like motivating myself, doing things around the house, just even getting out of bed, just walking down the stairs. The thought of walking down the stairs was hard work. The thought of even going downstairs just to come back upstairs was effort. Everything was just effort, like remembering anything was hard, learning anything, adapting to new things, having a schedule, having a routine. I couldn't even do that. Like, everything was just, I remember everything just being difficult. It was just, it's quite hard to explain it, because it's really hard to like remember.
I suppose it's like driving your life with a brake on.
Kind of, yeah, because it's like, you're trying to do everything, but obviously you feel like you're getting nowhere.
Yeah, and I remember that actually, where
it's obviously frustrating for everyone.
Get dressed. Just, why are you still sitting on the bed? Why are you not downstairs having breakfast? Everybody else.
Yeah. I can't enjoy life with you, and I can't enjoy my life either. Like, even if I slept downstairs, I still wouldn't want to get up and start my day. I would much rather just do nothing. Not even use my mind. Not even, just literally sit at bed on my phone. That would be.
Or when you were old enough to have a phone.
Yeah. That's all I really remember. When I was little, I don't really remember exactly, but I do remember from like being at school and stuff. Even walking home from school, that was a big thing, because obviously I used to walk home from school at primary school, didn't I? And I used to dread it. And I don't know whether it was because of the fact that I had to walk home, or what. I think it was more to do with the fact that the pain. I didn't know I had pain.
You couldn't express it.
Yeah, so I had no idea how I was feeling.
So the rest of the world was just expecting you to catch up and get on with it.
Yeah, and it's hard to explain that actually I can't. Or even I dreaded to do PE every single day, like every week I had PE, dreaded it. And even giving a notice, like even getting you to write one, it's still hard to explain that I can't, because I look like I can. I don't look like I'm struggling. I make myself look like I'm fine and I'm thriving, even though realistically I was actually struggling more than I could even imagine. Yeah, even get
because you didn't know before, had you?
Yeah.
So you can't really reference it.
So it's hard to even just tell someone how I'm feeling, It's like trying to explain. I don't know. It's like
I suppose it's like trying to explain a colour.
Unknown. Like if someone doesn't know anything, how could if you're trying to tell someone something, you can't explain what you don't know, or you can't learn what you don't know.
Yes, it's like trying to explain the colour blue to a blind person.
Kind of, yeah. It's really difficult to just gather how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many hours, time, and things do you think we spent doing all that?
In hospital
stuff? Yeah.
Hours.
Yeah.
14 years.
Yeah. 14
long years.
Yeah, there's weekly methotrexate injections that you were throwing up every weekend. That wasn't fun.
No.
I thought that was the best way forward, the only way forward.
It didn't help in certain aspects, I'd say, because obviously, I think for 3 days out of the 7, I think I felt
A little bit better.
okay. I wouldn't say I was perfectly fine, but I felt okay. Like I felt more active in I'd say Tuesday to Thursday, I probably felt more active than I ever did. And then obviously I started getting the dread, and then Saturday I didn't want to get up. I didn't even want to wake up. The thought of even knowing I've got to come downstairs and I know what's going to come. I know what I've got to do. And the earlier I do it, the better. Also, knowing what I have for the rest of the day, where I'm just feeling sick.
Or being sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Sunday you felt a little bit better, and then back to school Monday.
I don't think I even felt great Sunday. I think even thinking about it, I felt sick basically 24/7. And I still feel sick thinking about it. Like, it's I don't know, it's like making my stomach churn. Like, I just feel.
You still don't like the colour yellow either, do you? Because that's the colour.
I hate it. Like anything associated, like any kind of injection, anything associated, automatically I have the feeling of I feel like I'm going to throw up, even though it's only psychologically, because having a flu jab doesn't necessarily make you feel sick.
No, but it's that emotional attachment to it, which is something I talk about a lot. So how many sessions did we have together?
One.
I
don't know how many hours it was.
Oh, it wasn't long, about an hour and a half, 2 hours, no more than that. What can you remember about that session?
I remember twitching, I remember moving, I remember all my joints cracking. Like every movement I had, like I was just clicking.
I remember you doing that, and I asked you afterwards, what was that?
It was releasing. It just felt like everything was. It just felt like the tension had gone, and I don't know. It was just because I was relaxed.
No, you know it was more than that.
I know, but I don't know whether because I was relaxed that it was sort of like letting loose.
Yeah,
and that's what made it also just feel more easy.
Yeah, I think being relaxed, which is part of what I do with you before we work together. By being relaxed, it gives your body that sympathetic. It allows your nervous system to relax, so it's putting you in the state of a healing process. So that's really good. Can you remember anything about the session? What it went back to? Or
you remember feeling like everyone has pain. What do you mean? Like everyone has pain. Like I want to have pain as well. Not that I want to, not that I enjoyed it, but if I don't have pain, I don't fit in. I'm not like everyone else. That's kind of how I felt. I felt like Mum has pain, everyone has pain, everyone around me has pain. It must be normal. And if I don't have any, then who am I? I feel like that's the best way to describe it.
I feel like it's interesting actually, because when we did the going back to the scenes, you linked it together and you just said, I just need to be me. And I'm like, well, obviously that's obviously. And it's just like, that didn't make any sense, but you went back to like being 1 year old. So I didn't really understand that. So I'm sort of, this was the first session I'd ever done.
I think I felt your guilt.
I think you did as well.
I think because obviously we were connected.
When you're in the womb.
Yeah.
I
think I felt the guilt that you felt and then took it on as part of like, I know what I can do.
I'll help her.
Yeah. Even though it wasn't really helping you. It was more of making.
It's not a conscious thing. That's the whole point of the subconscious. It's all emotional, not logical.
Yeah.
So, I mean, linking it, your thing was, I need pain to be like everybody else. And when we actually go back to what was going on when you were a year, or even before that, I'd got thyroid issues. I had my thyroid removed when you were a year old, but before that, I'd still got the issue. So even when I was carrying you, you would have picked up on that. And then we've got illness in the family, haven't we? Your cousins had all got pain of their own for various different reasons, and your brother, you've got asthma. So it's just a normal, I guess. And you're very empathetic, knowing what you know now about yourself. You do pick up on energy very quickly, don't you? You're able to read a room energetically, just like that. You know, if it's like, oh, can we get out of here? I feel drained already.
Like if I go somewhere that's draining, I tend to want to sleep
for ages, about an hour afterwards. So that is how Emily sort of responds. So you can see how it was perfectly natural for her to sort of take on those beliefs about herself and about other people. So how do you feel when I said, what does it need to do to let go of you in the session?
I don't actually remember saying anything. I don't remember. I know what I said because you told me, but actually trying to remember what I actually said, I just remember, honestly, I don't really remember a lot of it. I just remember
it's quite a long while ago.
But even in the time, I feel like I wasn't actually there. I feel like I was more just like resting. Like I was in the just total relaxing. But I wasn't really thinking about what I was saying, what I was doing.
6 years this year, you know. Yeah, so it was 2018. So you felt that you needed pain to be like everybody else. And then I remember distinctly what do you need to do to let go of it? And you just said, I need to just have a pink helium balloon and watch it float away. And I was like, whoa, this could be working, because don't forget, it's still my first session. I don't really know what to expect. And I was like, oh, this could be are we doing it? And then you were doing this.
I remember after the session in particular, and I knew this was obviously in the session, I was just literally
going with the flow,
allowing all of the weight to just fall to my feet and like kind of like fall off, like everything just come out of me, it just cleansed me. That's kind of how I felt in the session. Like it just felt like a warm, because you did the I can't remember what it's called, like healing vortex, I think it's called. And I just remember feeling like
different energy flows through you to cleanse everything. I
was just feeling it all. Literally feeling like it will cleanse me. And it was like a vibrating through me kind of feeling. I just felt like it was all just falling out of me. I was laying on my bed, just literally feeling like it was just
that's obviously
down. And then I remember after the session in particular, because I knew there was one thing that did hurt me a lot, and that was to kneel.
Oh yes, I remember. You started kneeling on the floor
in the kitchen. I went downstairs and was like, I want to try something. And I remember feeling like that's way easier. Like that really is not hurting anywhere near as much. But I was still baffled to think that surely not. Surely you just spoke to me. I was not there.
And I know your brother and your stepdad were with us at the time, and they were like, that's not.
That's not happening.
Stop pretending to. Stop acting about. But clearly, could you have done the job you're doing now? Because you work in a coffee shop. Could you do that?
I'd have struggled to do the amount of hours I do. To think I used to struggle to walk, say, from the car to a cafe without thinking my legs are aching already. They felt heavy every time I walked. It literally felt heavy. So to think that I do 32 hours at least. I don't think I could.
It's busy, isn't it? It's not just.
I don't think I could do the standing up, and I don't think I could even remember things. To even remember orders. I feel like multitasking I would have struggled multitasking, and that's something that I enjoy doing at the minute. Like I love thinking, what can I do next, and all the things in my head that I know I've got to do, rather than obviously if I still had it.
If you haven't got a clear mind.
It would be stressful in my head.
And you've learnt to drive as well. You probably really struggle with that.
I think it would have took me longer. I don't think I'd have the confidence that I have now. And I don't think I would have decided to go out on my own.
No.
With Dad. I think I would have stuck with an instructor just because they have obviously got their own pedals and stuff. I don't think I'd have felt like I could trust myself.
So would you recommend working with me?
I wanted
Why is that?
it worked.
Oh yeah. Anything
I feel like it could work for anyone. I feel like if you've got your mindset there and you know you want to help yourself and you're dedicated, motivated, and you want to put that investment towards yourself, I think it would work. I wouldn't ever second guess it. If you want to help yourself and you want it to work, why not give it a go? The worst that happens is nothing can happen. That's what we said. That's what we said at the beginning.
But actually, when we actually first worked together, because we said we were going to do 52 sessions, didn't we, for a whole year, just to see if we could reduce it. And I said, I remember saying the worst thing is that nothing happens, and that is definitely not what happened.
I know, and I remember as well, I was halfway through a flare-up, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
Yeah, we forgot to mention this. So I was halfway through a flare-up, and I remember the excuse. I do remember because obviously I hadn't had pain for 2 years, and that's why I was put off.
You've been in drug-induced remission for 2 years.
Yeah.
The doctor said come off the drugs, see if you've outgrown it. We were like, oh, this is really exciting, let's hope so. But 8 weeks of not taking the drug.
I didn't know how it felt to not have any pain and not to be sick and everything, to then knowing how I felt when I had a flare-up. I knew I felt pain because I had actually got the feeling of, oh, okay, normal life is a lot easier. Normal life, wow, you can go downstairs, wow, you can get out of bed and you can just do whatever you want. Like it's literally your life.
And you weren't being sick every weekend.
I know, yeah.
And I was really excited.
I was thinking, I know I've got to come this weekend, and I didn't want to wake up on a Saturday. No. I hated the feeling of
And so
I know what I've got to do.
8 weeks of not taking it, we'd seen what normal life was like. You got that no pain, no medication feeling, and then they said, oh look, you've got a flare, your left knee's swollen.
And then what was it, like 2 weeks later we did a session, I think it was.
I
think it was around that, because you'd only just
qualified in June and we had the session in October.
And we were trying to gain confidence, weren't we? And
I was so doubtful, because I was just like, I know that people have got amazing results using hypnotherapy. I'm not them.
Yeah.
That was my big stumbling block.
We decided, you know what, give it a go.
Yeah, let's give it a go. 52 sessions, we'll do that. But it didn't take that, it took one.
I remember as well after the session, the day later, I felt like I was bouncing off walls.
Yeah.
I was like, no, let's go on, and I just felt so. We still went through with the steroid injection, didn't we? Because hospital
said that we needed to, but that was the last thing we did.
But honestly, and I don't know whether it's because I had the general anaesthetic rather than being on the under.
Yeah, you didn't need it. That's the long short of it, really.
And the general anaesthetic, I think, because I wasn't in the general anaesthetic. I think, I don't know whether that's because it hurt. That's why it hurt so much, because I was obviously more as awake and I was feeling it, or whether because there wasn't anything to actually inject, it hurt more. And I do remember, even though it was manic time and I was like, I don't want too much going on, but equally I know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So I do remember them saying, like, trying to take the information down, and they said they couldn't. And I remember that word for word, them saying, oh, we're struggling.
Because there's no flare up there, that's why.
Yeah.
So that's really great, even though it's like 2 weeks difference, I think, between doing it and us having that session together. We've worked together on other things as well, haven't we? Do you want to talk about that, or is that for another day, or not now?
We have actually, we have worked on some things.
Skin was one thing, wasn't it?
Skin's been the main thing recently, like skin on my stomach. I was being visible on Instagram. Scared myself, I think.
You were young though. You were still at school.
I had finished school. It was COVID.
Okay.
Just before, just as COVID hit. So I just literally finished year 11, and I posted, not even revealing, I just had my stomach on show, and I was not confident, to the point that my body's created eczema on my stomach, so I could never post that on my Instagram again, which is quite clever actually, because obviously I didn't know I wasn't actually comfortable with it, because otherwise I wouldn't have posted it. So it's very interesting how the mind works, and how it creates things subconsciously from how you're feeling.
You were laughing when we actually did that session.
It was like, no, that's not it. Like, I don't mind posting that, otherwise I wouldn't have posted it. I know what I'm comfortable with and what I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
So
but your subconscious was definitely not comfortable with that, even though it's in a closed group and not in a. There wasn't like millions seeing it.
It's private, so I can choose who I want to have on there. So that was probably one of the biggest aha. Like, wow, no, this works, because especially since it's visible. Obviously, arthritis, it was visible from how I was walking and
your
like and how I was feeling. But to actually see it go dry and like literally heal in such a short amount of time, that is probably that was really when I was like, no, this works. Like,
yeah, because you were so shocked. I remember you actually laughing with like, as if that's the reason. That's the reason.
Yeah, like,
yeah, I remember you saying that actually.
In a session, I was like, this is not working, Mum. This is not the reason. Like, I don't know what you're saying. No. But the fact it started healing proves that was the reason. And we only had one session for that one as well.
We did actually. Yeah.
So it works, definitely. And we were both we were both so in denial, to be honest. We were like, no.
Well, that's right. I often say to people, I was the most sceptical person as well. If anyone said to me training hypnotherapy, I'd absolutely not.
I was like, when I had the session with you on my arthritis, I was like, in the actual moment, I was like, just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. I had no idea what it was really. I was very kind of unaware of what you were actually going to do, because I was only 14 as well. I was like, we'll just go with it. It's worked for others. They've done other things, like Marissa Peer, for example. That's who you're training with. But
yeah, that's right. So it's just interesting. Process, see what happens. Let's just see where it goes.
So I think having an open mind was really what helped. Just go with it. Go with the flow. See what happens. Didn't really believe it. Thought in the session I was like, just relax, feel it. And the fact that I was feeling it in the session shocked me, because I was like, I feel like I'm not going to feel anything. My thought was, the most I will feel is just calm and relaxed.
You do have a lot of sort of emotions, can't like, oh, I need pain to be like everybody else. Like, oh, who? Oh, my brothers and my friends.
I think the thing as well, you didn't know who I was on about.
No, because you were like, pain to be like everybody, and I'm like, well,
you're like, who's everyone in this?
Everybody.
And then I was like, well, family, and like, at least obviously people at school around me as well, that I probably didn't even realise, because of the energy that I picked up on that I wasn't aware of. I probably felt it. And I think,
well, yeah, everybody's got pain. Everyone's carrying some sort of emotional stuff around, aren't they? So I guess that matters. I guess that makes sense more. But you don't need to do that anymore. You still do it sometimes.
Sometimes I feel like I've had more understanding of how to
manage
how to manage it,
and not absorb everybody else's pain. Yeah, that's lovely. Anything else you want to add before we go?
Not that I can think of.
Just do it, yeah.
Yeah, just do it. If you're ever in doubt, do it. As long as you have an open mind, and as long as you're like just allowing yourself to feel relaxed, that's probably the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, your subconscious mind knows. That's the thing. It's just allowing.
I think the thing is as well, I know what it is as well, and the way you do it. The sessions I've had after, I have worried, oh, what happens if I don't know what I'm saying? What happens if I don't know what to say? What happens if nothing comes up? But I think the more you stress about that, the worse it is. You haven't got anything to stress about, because in the session you just know. It all just comes to you. Like, you have no idea what's going to come up, and even in the session you're like, you potentially could think, this isn't it. This isn't what's happening.
I'm just thinking of this.
Like, I'm just thinking of this because this is all I know.
Yeah. But you know what you're saying, though, don't you? It's not like you've got no control of that. You do know what you're saying. It's just you start thinking of something in your mind, like, why am I thinking of this? This isn't where I need to be.
I think as well, as soon as you say a session's just coming into you and you click your fingers, it's there for me. It was just, and sometimes I've had a whole like a video tape, like just like they're all like
clients do that, and I'd be writing like 5 pages of notes, and they said, "Oh, you said you're going to think of nothing." But other people don't do that, and they've experienced the feeling, and equally that's as good. So it's just whatever you experience is perfect for you, and it's just about going with the flow, going with the process. And there's always a reason, an aim, a plan, and a goal behind it all. All we need to do is find out why it's there, so then it could be understood in the conscious mind, analysed it, and then it's about letting go of those emotions that are keeping you in that cycle. And then once you let go of that, your body can and does know how to heal it. And that is the truth. The body speaks the truth, and your symptoms are just your body telling you there's suppressed emotions behind it. So thank you for watching this very special edition. Thank you very much, Emily, for joining me finally. If you've got any questions, as always, just feel free to message me to Rachel at wellnesswithrachel.co.uk. Find me on Facebook, Rachel Claire Farnsworth. Come and join our Facebook group, Decoding the Body's Messages to Transform and Thrive as well. It'd be great to welcome you there. There's 2 free gifts as well when you join us that will help you on your healing journey. So thank you for watching, and if you want to know more about one-to-one, then just reach out to me. Thanks for watching again. Bye for now.